Okay, it does now say we are live. Thank you very much for tuning in. You are currently watching Machines, Magnetism, and Mayhem. It happens, did I say it right?
Yeah, you said it right.
Oh, fantastic. You know, I don't have my headphones on, and now I'm going to be getting some echo feedback. Now, there's no echo feedback. I apologize for not having my headphones on. I'm always encouraging any interview guests or anybody to have headphones. So what do you do? Sorry, I apologize about that quick technical issue. Anyways, you are currently watching Machines, Magnetism, and Mayhem. It happens, I believe, whatever Wednesday this is, the third Wednesday at 10 a.m. And it's going to be a great show. I think we have Mike on here, and they're in the background. So bear with me for about 5 or 10 minutes while I tell you a little bit about the Reinventing the Tattoo network, and we can make sure that this is actually working and going out on all the streams. To that point, please leave a comment about if this is working or where you are beaming in from, and feel free to tag or do those story clips or whatever it is that you can do on the social medias to share this around with all of your tattoo artist friends, or maybe even apprentices that need to learn more about tattoo machines. These are always amazing interviews. It's pretty fun to chat machines. Okay, this is a live stream on April 20th. It's 420. Happy 420 for the stoners. This is Guy Aitchison's Reinventing the Tattoo network community, where tattoo artists, apprentices, collectors, and the curious are all encouraged to join in these live streams, to watch the replays on the various channels, ultimately to inspire each other and to make better art and tattoos, and in this case, tattoo machines together. We're beaming out nearly every day, and with your help, have actually evolved into a quality network of amazing live and on-demand shows. It's actually on some smart TVs if you have not the Hulu, the fuck is it, Roku, and we'll talk about that later. Sorry. Anyways, it's pretty amazing. We're very thankful to all of the streamers that are creating all of this content. It's pretty awesome. Please leave your rave reviews in, well, let's see, either the app stores, the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. It's Reinventing the Tattoo. The YouTube channels, or the Roku. If you're on Roku, download the Roku channel. I've got, I think, like 15 stations going on at any given time, including the Drunk Critique. So on Roku, there's actually Drunk Tattoo Critique 24/7 against my better judgment. Let's see, there's also the podcast versions, which are audio only. You know, a lot of this you can actually take in with the audio. Believe it or not, the conversation is actually pretty clever. You don't need the pictures, but on the other hand, well, yeah, so if you're on your car or whatever, or want to listen to in the background of your tattoo session to distract your client, then you could check all of the usual places. That's the Apple Store, Spotify, all of the podcast places. This is a spot where I'm supposed to screen share the Reinventing the Tattoo website, but I'm going to try to expedite this a little bit so that we could get on with tattoo machine talk. In any event, you could always get the latest. Where are all these places? I don't know where you're finding us from, but you could always find the latest links, the latest streams, the latest calendar at reinventingthetattoo.com. That's never going to change. There is also what I was talking about on the Roku, the multiple stations, is Reinventing 24/7 is also playing on the homepage of reinventingthetattoo.com. So if it's 2 o'clock in the morning and you're sick of Netflix, there's 15 tattoo shows that you could choose from, even one in Spanish. If you want to recommend any of these shows and you're not sure where to start because there's so many, you could always just, again, recommend reinventingthetattoo.com. And last but not least, if you are a tattooer or an apprentice, the beating heart of the Reinventing Network is, well, our subscribers, guys, subscribers. They meet every Monday at 9 p.m. to do art exercises. It's kind of like art martial arts. They're cruising through stuff. And Guy still sells the Canon, kind of like the book with all the videos and stuff. It's like a super book. So you can get it all at once if you want to in the Canon form. But there's also weekly classes that people can join in, and guided basically everybody gets guided through the course 1 week at a time. It's pretty amazing. So anyways, please check it out, reinventingthetattoo.com. There's also a goals form. So there's like a little free resource section. If you let us know your goals, then Guy has crafted a whole bunch of tips and tricks and resources, some paid, some not paid, some for free. So yeah, if you let us know in that form, it's cool. Okay, the weekly staples of this network are the Reinventing drawing groups. So they happen at 1 o'clock on Sundays, Eastern Standard Time. with Jason Leeser. The Reinventing Drawing Groups are open Zoom calls where artists are encouraged to beam in and point the camera at their art. And there's also fantastic conversations. So you can either beam in and listen and watch, or if you're an artist, get those links and join us. Mondays at 11 a.m. is the Tattoo Weekly with Jake Meeks from the Fireside Tattoo Network, Lauren Gregory from Raw Pigments and Reinventing, and then me, I'm Gabe Ripley from Tattoo Now and Reinventing. Tattoo Weekly, we do half-hour interviews, little short interviews with people, and then cover previous tattoo conventions, upcoming events, benefits, all that kind of fun thing. We talked about the Monday 9 o'clock subscribers, exclusives with Guy. Tuesdays at 10 a.m. is a Reinventing Drawing Group with Ricardo. Again, everyone's encouraged to join in. Wednesdays at 12 noon is the Tattoo Now show. Hey, that's this one, where we interview. Oh, it's not this one. This is happening today at noon. It's because today is a Wednesday. We're interviewing, let's see, Nick Baxter, which will be fun. So let me get my schedule straight. 12 noon is the Reinventing the Tattoo business class. Nick Baxter will be a special guest today. So if you're taking the business course, you're in for a special surprise treat. We just scheduled it yesterday. At 1 o'clock is the Tattoo Now show with Nick Baxter. Okay, Thursdays at 6 p.m. is the Tattoo Collecting Podcast, where Fawn Baker, Jordan Ruckus, and various friends and guests talk about how to collect tattoos. Okay, a couple of other real-world ways to find us, upcoming real-world events in person. Let's see, we've got May 20th to the 22nd is Hell City in Columbus, Ohio, hellcity.com. There's a full reinventing room and a seminar room. So yeah, check it out. Go to hellcity.com and hit up the seminars. June 10th to the 12th is Ink Mania down in Florida, St. Pete, right near the Dolly Museum. I'm going to take a field trip to the Dolly Museum afterwards. Chino's doing a great job. We've got a seminar room there. It's inkmaniaexpo.com. Then I think that's it for the summer. We're not going to do anything. No, I'm joking. July 29th to the 31st is the Rubber City Tattoo Invitational in Akron, Ohio, hosted by Tony Urbanek, who's the host of this machine show. So hopefully we'll talk a little bit more about that. It's going to be a fantastic first season show. He's been working on it pretty hard through this COVID. So you definitely want to go there. I think there might be some booths left. I'm not 100% on that. But anyways, let's see, a couple sponsors. Rawpigments.co, they are acrylic free. They don't dry out in the cup. Not sure if that's the reason why they don't, but one way or another, they don't. They're rawpigments.co. You can check out the videos. Lauren's got a whole bunch of interviews with their artists. You can probably find some ways to get some samples, but if not, well, anyways, rawpigments.co. Check them out. worldtattooevents.com is the most comprehensive website that exists about tattoo conventions. Alex is awesome. He's got a couple of history of conventions and future conventions interviews. Worldtattooevents.com. D-Lies Pro is in the United States. It's a healing wrap. It breathes, so it's designed to heal wounds. This is known as Dermalize worldwide. D-Lies Pro in the United States. Got to clarify due to international copyright bullshit. No stuff. Anyways, check out Dermalize and you'll see what they're all about. Tattoo Now, I do technology for tattooers, like a part-time CTO for bigger companies and a computer geek webmaster for smaller ones and artists and whatnot. Also have business classes and whatnot, like I said, at noon. Okay, Guy Aitchison, GuyAitchison.com. He is the founder of Reinventing, the reason why we are actually here, otherwise we wouldn't be. He has, he's the main author and founder of Reinventing. He has tattoo machines, he's got paintings, he's got prints, as well as the Biomech Encyclopedia. You can see some of these are the bio paintings are his in the background. GuyAitchison.com. You can find him on the social medias. Just do a search for Guy Aitchison. He actually is as famous as we say he is. Okay, I'm going to hop in the background. As always, like I said, positive reviews and comments out in the public. We love constructive criticism. Send it straight to management at reinventingthetattoo.com. If you're interested in sponsoring an event of your own with Reinventing, that's also the right email. And I'm sure that when we're done, Tony will give us a glowing recommendation. Right now, he'll tell you that we were a little late in our descriptions, but we'll make up for it. Anyways, thanks, guys. I'm going to turn it over to Tony and hop in the background and switch computers. These are always fun. Now I'm going to actually check to see if it's working. And if it's not working, I get to do the intro all over again.
Cool. Well, thank you, Gabe. That's all the time we have. Good night. No, I'm kidding. Morning, everybody. I am Tony Urbanek, and I'm your host for Machines, Magnetism, and Mayhem. Greg's here on my screen, and that's Mr. Greg. Let's see if I can say it correctly. DiGiacinto. DiGiacinto.
Close enough. Every episode, close enough.
And today we have Mike Schaefer from Flying Irons. Did I say that right? Schaefer? Schaefer?
Schaefer.
I always have trouble saying Greg's name, and he always gives me grief. I've only known him like 20-something years.
Yeah, like 50 years.
15 years. I'm messing up the years now. But yeah, Greg approached me. We were looking for other guests to bring on the show, and he had mentioned your name. And I've been following your stuff for years, and lately it just seems you've come out of the box with some really off the wall stuff. So, yeah, man, I thought it would be appropriate. And after, talking a little more and getting to know you, I was just like, oh my God, it's crazy how aligned we are as builders. We've never met. We have so many common interests, habits, ways of life that I just thought it would be fantastic, man, to get you on, to hear your story, to check out your stuff, and just hear about what you got going on in your life, man. So we're really excited, not to speak for Greg, but we'd spoken, and we're really excited to have you on today. So thanks for coming on.
Yeah, excited. Yeah. I never really like talking to anybody, so it's nice to be able to talk with other machine builders and see what goes.
The only outlet I have is this podcast, really. Like, I don't live near any machine builders or anything,
Yeah.
I have one.
Yeah.
My closest are 6 hours away from me, so that's 2 machine builders in the same town 6 hours from me. But yeah.
Wow.
And you're
That's
in
in
Montana.
If I went the other direction, like in Washington and Idaho and stuff, there's some machine builders over there that are pretty, maybe 4 hours away.
I'm like, I got Kevin Riley is like in Philly.
Yeah,
but
close.
We've never visited each other, but like we talk semi-regularly, at least once or twice a year. Pittsburgh's about a 5-hour drive to go see Tony.
Yeah, Bryce is like
we got Bryce
from me.
Nick is out there. Nick Ackman.
Nick Ackman. Yeah.
There's some people, but it's like mainly like, on the internet and stuff, talking to people, kind of bullshitting, leaving comments on each other's stuff. But the only other, not to be all like that, but the only time I really get to talk to anybody about tattoo machines is if somebody comes to visit the shed. Mike Wilson was around maybe about a month and a half ago. That was pretty fun. We built some stuff.
That's cool.
And it's like, he's a real smart guy. He's real fun to pick stuff up from, but I'd like to kind of dive into, your history and like when you started tattooing and when your interest for tattoo machine building and stuff like that came to be.
Yeah, I started, I don't know, like 28 years ago. So I don't know, 94, I'd say, around there. And then I've always tinkered with my machines when I was tattooing, but I didn't like sell to other tattoo artists until like later on, around 2000, a little after 2000. And before that, I always just modified the crap out of my machines and stuff,
Oh yeah.
And and when I got into real crazy machines was maybe, I don't know, 10 years ago, 11 years ago is when I really started thinking out of the box. So
yeah, you got a lot of amazing stuff. Just like maybe in the last couple years, just stuff that like I don't think anybody would have ever thought of. And as somebody who I pride myself on, like, coming up with techniques and coming up with things that like aren't really popular, you're really, really hard to keep up with. Like really, really hard. I've seen a lot of really inventive stuff come out of your profile. It's really, really cool to see.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm not trying to like reinvent the tattoo machine or by any means. I'm just like, if I see or have an idea, or if I have something drawn down, it's like, I want to see if it just tattoos. I'm not sitting here gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna make like, 100 of these. It's never been like that. It's just like, I just want to see if it works. If it works, that's fucking awesome. So I'm just gonna use the shit out of it soon.
Well, I think that's what's fascinating about, there's a good sized group of tattoo machine builders that do more than just slap them together. And, they're not content with just a strong running, nice machine. They want to go and see what else they could do and like really delve into like, some deeper areas of thought with tattoo machines. And that's like the really the kind of thing that I like to see. That's the thing that impresses me, really. And it's very impressive to see what you're doing all the time. Is there like any kind of deep inspiration for that type of like thinking, or like, I saw somebody comment on one of your things that said like, oh, you're like eating acid or something. It's just like coming up with crazy ideas. Yeah.
I think, it's my life. So I swim in all kinds of mechanical like craziness, and especially in the turn, back in the early 1900s, 1800s, that whole era of how people were inventing stuff left and right. I just love that style of thinking and looks. So I got pictures and pictures of like patents and just weird, unique coil run anything. It doesn't even have to be a machine, a bell or a coil for a car, anything that makes it magnetize. I just am totally into, and then just the mechanicals of it just blows my mind. So then I always try to incorporate all that into something that I could actually use and not just look at, so.
Yeah, it's amazing. So it's like, you draw inspiration from like the early, turn of the century mechanical devices, right. Something that has an application that has nothing to do with tattooing, and you could see something in it, which is really, really cool. I admire that, a lot, to see that in someone's work.
I think too, when you're really into something, you really, really get into it. Like if you're a tattoo artist and you're really into a certain art, like a certain style, you really merge yourself into it, and then it's like your life. And that's how machines are. Man, I eat, sleep, and think about it all the time.
Oh yeah, like me and Tony were kind of texting a little bit last night, and he was like, "Oh man, I love Mike. This guy's it's gonna be a really good podcast. I'm pretty sure this dude is like, he's like, and we both kind of like agreed, like, yeah, you're like one of us. Like you're fucking nuts, and like you're crazy hell just like us. Like we're the same way. Like you're in great company. So you're right. That's awesome.
I think
you might be a little ahead, but like, holy shit, yeah, man. There's like, when you meet a machine builder, and like, I think like machine builders that are tattooers, are like a very special breed of tattooer. You really see and experience tattooing in a different way than just the regular, tattoo guy or something, and everybody that I've ever met, it's like a really, really good tattooer that's also a really good machine builder is fucking insane. Like, you see things, you just see things in a different way. And it's proven in your work that like, like I can't even like reverse engineer anything you do anymore. Like, I used to like try to figure it out, and I'm just like, man, it's just too cool. I just can't figure it out. Like, it's like playing the board game Mousetrap, but you're like making a tattoo machine.
Right.
Yeah. You just let it happen, man. Yeah.
But yeah.
I was just thinking about how, like, when you're how tattoo artists, when they're tattooing, they're really into the art of what they're tattooing. And I'm kind of the opposite, as in I'm just into like, this line is going in like butter. And it's just because of my machine is like just perfect. And I'm just paying attention to the way the needle's going into the skin. I'm not even looking at the art of it. I'm just like, God damn, this is awesome. And then I start to think about, you know, the throw of it, or, you know, all that kind of stuff. And and that's, you know, that happened like within the past 10 years, where my tattooing has been I've only been tattooing like once a week lately, because I'm so overwhelmed with just machine stuff. Because I just like, but you know how you just get obsessed with something, and I love tattooing, but I've totally like moved it to machine building more than actual tattooing, because I still want to play around with my machines. When I get done with building them, I go in, bust out some tattoos to test them out, and I just love that part. So
oh yeah, it's a good feeling to be able to like test and, you know, make sure that something that you just built is like amazing, you know, or like make sure it makes lines, make sure it makes solid color, make sure it makes nice you know, whip shades and stuff.
Yeah, that's
tell
the
us
best
about
feeling.
how
It's the best feeling.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Tone. Sorry.
I said that's the best feeling when well, I come up out of my basement and I'm like, I wonder if it's gonna work. And you plug it in, like this is it's just like the clouds part and the sun comes down. Like, oh.
Yeah, awesome. When did you we know you started tattooing in 94. How soon after that were you like building machines, like, and building them for people, like, you know, building them to sell and everything?
it would have been around after 2000, so 2003-ish, around there. I think I started, you know, like if we had a guest artist in, or if an artist needed a machine, I'm like, yeah, I'll make you one, and then I just build from there, you know. So I think in around 2008 is when I really started like hitting conventions and stuff like that and selling them that way, you know. But yeah,
I might be mistaken, but you had some ads in some magazines back in the day?
I did.
You know, I remember seeing those very, very early.
Yeah.
You know, like
I got into like building tattoo machine parts and selling them to other machine builders and stuff, and I kind of got out of that. You know, I got a few people I still keep in touch with, and I build some parts for it, but that's about it really. So
yeah. That's cool. What's your process? Like, I see like some stuff, like you had like a story up, and it looked like you were very much into manually milling some stuff, but you know, we see some laser cut or water jet stuff on your wall back there. Like, do you have like stuff that you just make for production runs, and then, you know, maybe one-offs? I see a lot of like crazy one-offs that you're doing, you know. So
yeah, I'm really into the one-off.
Let's run through that little process real quick, you know.
I love doing one-off stuff. I mean, I have a certain production line that a style of machines that I have for Kingpin, but that's about it. And the rest, one of a kind, one-off machines. I make all my bases myself, all of it, you know. And I like them to just be one unique thing. It's like having a tattoo, you know. I mean, you just want to have your own unique style of tattoo for yourself, and that's kind of how I think of machines are, you know. And if somebody asks like, hey, I want it to run this way and that way, I'm like, hell yeah, because it's just for them, you know. So
that's awesome.
What do you think is your craziest machine you've ever built, like really out of the box? I don't know if Gabe's still there. He could start pulling some of your builds up and show, but what's your favorite build?
Boy, there's quite a few, but I think there's certain ones that have so many crazy moving parts to them where I'm just like, to me, it was fun as hell. And it's just, I love the mechanical of it. But to some other Joe Blow that likes coil machines but doesn't know how to tune, they would be completely screwed. And they would probably throw it to the side of the room, you know, because
I mean,
once it goes out of tune,
I'm not sure I could be able to tune any of those. Like, they're pretty crazy looking, you know. They're like, it's like, you know, really, really like unique looking stuff, you know.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's why my car didn't run.
What's that?
Yeah, there you go.
Look at that, man. That spring, it's like just that spring.
Rad. Yeah, back up, you know, one. Or not.
That rear spring was like crazy as hell.
Yeah, I'm
Are
trying
these
to think of what. There might
a
be
lot of
some
these
in that
one-offs?
passing machine.
That was a slideshow, Tony.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, look at that, man. Oh my god. And these are just the stuff we're looking at is all one-offs.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, amazing. I love it. That top one, this one we're looking at is like, wow, look at that shit, man. Is that like a one piece like base or
No, it's 3 pieces. You got the
Okay.
rear deck and then the side and the base.
okay.
The covering that's on the coil of that one is actually vintage covering from a bell back in the early 1900s.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we see that you're really, really into doorbells and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And you make them, do you make them custom or do you just make them and just sell them and you have like a little following that collects them or
Yeah,
how's that?
I make them. And then lately I haven't been able to make enough to like, because I like to have a stock on my website of custom bells, but right now I'm
Mhm.
just trying to catch up with people ordering custom bells.
Right.
And I just make the whole entire bell, just like a machine. So
Wow, it's awesome. So crazy. Yeah, look at that shit, man. Beautiful. I love it. Everything on there. So good. It's like you have a style that's like, very like rustic and utilitarian and it's not overly like it's not overly showy, which like that really appeals to me when like there's not too many bells and whistles,
right.
but it still looks like a tool, it doesn't look like a kid's toy. That's like, I think it's important for stuff to look like that. Well, I mean, it's important if it's important,
Sick.
but I mean, it's just my opinion, really. But yeah, look at this, insane.
That's
Look at that,
cool.
temperature bar. Look at that
That's
tiny
rad,
temperature bar.
dude.
Thing's so crazy.
That's a modified doorbell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that run? That thing runs? Like you can
Oh,
tattoo
yeah.
that?
Oh yeah.
For $200, man, that's a steal.
See,
Yeah,
I would
raise the price
tattoo
on
with that all day. Just
Yeah, that thing's
that's
crazy.
the beauty of it. You could dig that out of the engine compartment of your car and just go to work, man.
Yeah, for real.
The
That's
best.
crazy. Like, look at the way like that thing's strong.
See, I get down with stuff like that, man. That's grimy. That's
Oh
awesome.
yeah, this is
See, I haven't seen this stuff, Mike. This is like I quit now.
yeah,
I'm
so
done.
good,
This is
so good.
good stuff, dude.
Yeah, we're not here to like gas you up or anything, but like
Now this
we
is
like
right up my alley.
like it's like really really good. Like a lot of the stuff is super cool. Look at
Yeah.
that fucking thing, Jesus.
That thing's
That's
a
like-
monster. That thing
Now,
weighs a
they're-
ton.
That's like vintage. They're vintage coils. Like they're like the coils that or did you make those?
No, it's actual vintage coils. I had to modify the heck out of it to be able to tattoo. So I had to make the rear binding post thing to be able to. It's the way it's set up is really goofy to make it so you can actually use it.
Right.
And yeah, I just had.
Yeah. Look at the
But,
look the
man,
like,
that
how
thing
you
must
close
weigh
the-
like a
how
pound.
you close the vice with that like far out
Yeah.
what's it called, the wing nut, like way the fuck out, but it like wouldn't be
Yeah,
able to
because
close.
I couldn't fit my fingers in there, so I made an extension for it.
Yeah, it's perfect. Like like solutions to problems. There you go.
Right.
There's a lot going on, man. That's cool.
I know, it's nuts, man.
That's a super cool modification. Now, what was that? What was that out of? Was that an old phone box ringer?
No, it was actually out of a bell.
That was just out of a bell.
I'm trying to think of the era. It would have been 1910, 1920, around there.
Right. Yeah, these are fun. These are definitely fun.
Now, how long ago did you make these builds? Are they like, is this like, are these
Some of those,
what we're looking at recent or?
some of them are like 3 or 4 years old, I'd say.
Okay.
And then, yeah, everything that you've been showing here, has been about 3 to 4 years.
Yeah, the thing
And
is
some of
so
these
good.
bells are a little bit newer.
Yeah, it's really
Right.
cool. Yeah, I mean, because Lord knows when the last time I like updated my website was. There's probably stuff on there that's ancient, you know. So I guess that's why I wanted to ask. Look at that, like that's a drill bit in the center.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Like, what do you see? Like, how do you see that? Like, it just start with one idea, or does it just
Well, I gather a bunch of crap that I have around here, and I just start pushing stuff together, just setting it all up, and then I just start welding and
wow,
go down.
Kind of feel your way.
it's amazing.
Yep.
Amazing.
Those yokes are cool.
Yeah, those A-bar
Yokes are sweet.
past machines. The archives. Here we go. Yeah, what
These
the
are some of
corner?
the ones I've seen, like the slant coils. Those are crazy.
Yeah, crazy as hell. And that's oh my god. Yeah, I don't even know.
I don't even know.
I don't even know,
dude.
this thing. Oh, it's like is like it's like a rotary coil.
Yeah,
Like,
it's kind of based off the Edison style a little bit, but more my version, I guess. You have to kickstart it to make it go, but it's fun.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, it's fun.
Wow, man. Now, is there any other, me and Tony draw inspiration from each other quite a bit. I would say, a couple people I look up to, or look to as far as like machine builders that I think are like hot shit would be like Kevin Riley or Mike Pike or Mike Wilson. Is there any other dudes that you think like, oh man, that dude's doing some really cool shit, or like, something somebody you could draw inspiration from?
John Clark is one of them. He makes some cool stuff.
Fucking
Yeah.
nailed it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then Larry, God dang, I'm really shitty
Larry
with
Head.
names. Larry, he's back east, and I can't remember his goddamn last name.
The guy from Vermont.
Yeah, Larry Ross. Is that his name?
Larry Ross. Yeah, man.
Yes.
That same thing.
That guy rules. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm mental block going on here, but there's a few other ones that really get me going too. But
Yeah.
Special Technique. He's
Oh,
a good
yeah.
one too.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not the guy's name though. Like, what's you
No,
don't know?
that's his Instagram.
But,
handle.
Bill. Yeah, his name's
Yeah.
Bill.
Crazy shit. Yeah, there's just like a higher level that I feel that like I haven't attained. Or maybe like those waters I fear to tread in. But like what I really, really like, I dig the stuff, it looks really cool, But that's cool that like you could just like you gather a bunch of stuff and you just put it together. It's like,
And that's that inverted V machine or the weird V thing that happened because I was playing with some angle iron, and I just was like putting some coils on it, and then I was like, I wonder if it works. And I still have the first one up on my. These are all my crazy machines up here, but man, the thing is a hammer. It's
I bet
crazy.
Yeah, I guess like, if you have all that downward force, coming down against two magnets in one point, it would make it hit really, really hard, as opposed to like, having it spaced out, vertically. There's like, two magnets like right here. So like, I can imagine that thing like saw somebody's fucking arm off.
Right.
Yeah. Let's be real. Chipping up concrete with that thing.
It's like, turn that down. It's like, why?
No, never.
Oh yeah, I see it. Yeah.
You got two arms, man. Call that other one off. Shit. So, what's up, Tone?
Just listening to you interview my man.
I'm just interested, man. The guy, like, it's I think it's very rare to see like, stuff that you're doing, and it's cool to be able to shine a light on it and like, have this opportunity to like pick your brain a little, so yeah, that's about it. How about with you say you only tattoo once a week? Where's your shop located and what's the name of it?
It's in Missoula, Montana, and it's Black Owl Tattoo.
Okay.
Been there 12 years. It started. So
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. And what's the, I don't know that I'm real familiar with your style of tattooing. Like what's your kind of style of tattooing that you like to do?
oh, cripes. Anything. I don't have like a set style. I'll tattoo anything. I'm not.
Right.
You give me a portrait, I'll do a portrait. You know, old school, whatever. I'm not picky by any means. So.
That's cool. Would you have considered yourself like a street shop guy when you were tattooing, since you come from an era when you had to tattoo everything? And
oh yeah.
You know, so it's like drowning in walk-ins, that whole deal.
Yep. That's probably one of my favorite things to do is just bust out little jammers, like, you know, less than an hour. Oh man.
Yeah.
I'll do that all day. Love that. But you get into the ones where it's like over 5 hours, I'm like ready to slice my wrists open. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I'm like 7 miles away from Atlantic City in New Jersey. And it's like right now it's like getting towards the tourist season. I'm doing like, you can get like 5 to 10 tattoos a day and they're all 5-minute tattoos. And I'm the walking guy in my own shop. So I know exactly what you're feeling, but I don't feel like that. Like I love the hustle, like I love just crushing tattoos,
Yeah.
Like I don't work out, but like I do walk-ins. It's like the same thing. You just feel great after you do it, like,
Yep.
Yeah. I'm not sit one person a day guy. I just sit all day with one person.
I'm not wrong with that. I mean, I'd like to get to that point, but it's just too much little stuff going on.
I like doing bangers though every once in a while. Just switch it up, take a break. Like Mike said, after like 5 hours, you're like ready to come out of your skin.
Yeah.
And sitting there for 5 hours stuck in your own head thinking about, man, I got so much stuff I could be like building and painting and drawing. I'm like, I just want to go do it all right now. You have to restrict all that energy into a ball. And then finally, when it lets go, it's just like,
yeah. You have to have supreme focus,
Yeah.
I mean,
Get the supreme ulcer.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, my focus is totally screwed up on that. Because like when I'm building shit in here, I have like, 5 things going on at the same time. So my mind's always like going around and around in here.
Yeah.
So like tattooing when I'm doing a 5-hour job, man, my brain is like on overload because I'm like thinking of other shit and I start to like not think about the tattooing and I'm like catch myself fucking up a little bit and I'm like, oh my God, I didn't color that in really good. I'm like, shit, slow down. So.
Yeah. Do you ever hit a point? I'm sure we all hit this point where we hit a wall and like building machines and stuff and like you either get bored or you get burnt out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And I'll do other shit, like build, I got some military vehicles I've been working on and I like to dick around with those. That'll totally throw me in a whole different, world. And then painting like more like pinstriping and stuff like that and airbrushing or whatever.
That's really cool. But that's really cool. Yeah. So you have ways to like break out of that kind of like that monotony or the boredom and stuff.
Yep. And having 3 young ass kids, that really will put my mind to different mind.
Yeah, so, like you're in good company with that too. We both have like, little kids too.
Yep. And that is the mayhem, folks. That's right there. Straight mayhem.
How it's gonna go, man.
That's how it goes. It's I feel you, Mike. Like it's just I'm nonstop from dusk till dawn. And it feels like I'm always throwing more on top. I have kids, I build machines, I'm running a convention, we're doing a podcast, we're traveling, I could go down the list. But if I wasn't doing any of that, then I would just spin. Mayhem, and we talked about it last week, that mayhem keeps me grounded and keeps me sane. It's like organized chaos. I enjoy it. And it's like, we talked about it last month, not last week. Like it's like a meditation. When we build machines, it's almost like that's what brings me back down into me and focus that energy into something.
Yeah.
Right.
And balances all that mayhem out.
Sometimes
I sat through
feel like I have. I was gonna say, I feel like I have too much knowledge in things that I do. And people always ask me to do those things for them, and then I'm like, ah, shit, I need some of my own time because I can build houses or remodel houses too and all that shit. So people are always asking me for that kind of things, and then I'm like, God, I think I know too much, and I probably shouldn't have said, yeah, I'll help you. I probably should have been like, no, I can't help you. I got my own shit to deal with, you know?
Oh yeah. You gotta break out of the people pleasing mentality.
Right.
Honestly. I mean, it's a tough thing to have to do, but you have to do it. There's like, right now, like there's not much I won't tattoo. I mean, there's some stuff that I can't tattoo. Like I don't tattoo portraits, so like don't ask me.
Right.
But at the same time, like there's a lot of people in tattooing, in customers, or potential customers that just want too much. They want more than they want more than I can provide for them. So you have to say no, because like I don't want to be there, like, with, like you want to be comfortable when you tattoo. And if you're not comfortable tattooing somebody, if you're not comfortable tattooing, that subject matter, then don't, and that's like, the same thing. Like, like I could help you put your floor down, that's not a problem. But like, I got fucking A-bars to turn. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I gotta make parts, I'm sitting on the couch last night making clip cords.
Yeah.
I'm not relaxing. You know what I mean? Like, like there's some shit you got to just say no to, can you remodel my house? No, I can't fucking remodel your house. Go get somebody else to do it. You have to start setting boundaries as a tattooer. And I think you only get that way after like so many years of just doing the people pleasing thing.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong. Like I really love my customers. I mean, it's evident, and I really love tattooing, but there comes a point where you stop loving yourself and you just become this mechanism, and it's hard to get back to that. You really got to get back to that center.
Yeah,
I feel great. I've been through that through the years where you just I feel like I've identified as just a machine that I'm just going through the motions, and I just kind of detach from yourself. You're that mechanism now to create, people please, build, construct.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe that's in all of our nature. Like the three of us talking right here, like we're creators, we're heavy thinkers. And sometimes it's hard to separate from that. But I agree with you 100%. You have to take time for yourself.
Yeah, a little bit. Nothing crazy. Like, like I can't, have downtime for too long. I'm like, just like you guys,
like I take a day or two off, I'm coming out of my skin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. When I would go to Thailand with my wife, because she sells imported goods and stuff, and holy shit, we'll spend a month there, and I am just like, I will have to like occupy myself with other crap that's in Thailand that'll keep me from losing my mind. I'll draw and whatever, but I have to look at all the mechanical things around me and I start picking up loose metal and shit on the fucking ground, and I'm like, hey, this would be a cool machine. And then I bring it home. And I'm like,
I know a guy like that.
Well, I mean, that you just made a really good point though, because like that recharge, you're not just recharging your body, you're recharging ideas.
Yeah.
Right.
That's a good point.
I don't know if you guys do this, but I have like a little, I have like notes in your phone. There's just like chapters and notes, just years long, just like stuff that I want to do. Stuff you would never tell anybody because it's your idea and you want to do it. And like, you never seen it before. I think anybody that's like worth their salt would like, try to keep a little log of, the stuff that just floats from, in your brain a little bit, just write it down. So you don't have to keep it in there. You can refer back to it later. But having that downtime definitely like, it helps to get all those ideas out and get like some stuff to the forefront where you can like write it down and then accomplish it later,
Yep.
it's like bring it up a little bit, so I can see, it's just, being down for too long is just too much, man. I can't do it.
No.
Yeah, I think that's the nature of the creative type.
Yeah.
That's a certain type. Like I believe the three of us have like a balance of, and this is just my opinion, of art and mechanics, and the way our brains process those two sides, and when they meet together, and with a little mix of obsessive compulsive disorder.
Just a little.
I mean, you're sitting on your couch making clip cords at fucking 10 at night, dude. Now, let me ask you this. What if your wife said, hey, Greg, can you stop doing that and just watch TV? No.
Nah, she fell asleep, man.
What would you do?
Done.
You'd be sitting like...
Not for nothing. That's the reason I picked him up last night. Like, when I was texting you last night, I was like, what was I was watching something. And then I'm like, oh, do you care if I watch this? And I look over, she's sleeping. So I was like, oh, well, I'm just going to strip wire for a while. And then, like, that's what I did. I was like, stripping wire, getting ready to make some clip cords.
How about Bryce? He has a setup in his living room so he can watch TV and eat.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, all he needs is like a toilet to sit down on.
Yeah, we don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah. Eat shit, make tattoo machines, watch TV. What else is there? Fuck it, man.
Crew, a bunch of maniacs, dude.
Yeah, but it's like we try to talk to people that are just like us. It's like almost like I feel like this podcast is almost like a support group for like fucking maniacs, dude. Like, it's evident.
Team Builders Anonymous.
Yeah, dude. Like, you can't
except
stop.
we're not.
Like, you see it a lot of dudes. Like, I mean, I've been tattooing about over 22 years. I think I've been building 17, 18, something like that. And you see a lot of people come and they're like, and then you see a lot of people like stop. There's a lot of dudes just quit, And I'm not saying it's like, I mean, like that we're cooler than anybody or we'll outlast you, but like it's really a testament to like, how far can you really take it? How much can you really, really do with a tattoo machine? And if you're not making money doing it, would you ever consider keep doing it? Like, even if you're not making any money, just do it because like you love it, because it's fun and it becomes part of your identity too, which is kind of weird, just be like, like, oh, but I'm a machine builder, so I got to build machines. That's not really a good reason to do it. Like, you do it because you love it, like, because we love, the art mixed with the mechanical side of it is I think what keeps me coming back. Exactly what Tone just said. That's all I have to say about that.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you 100%, man. Like, when I started building, it was just, I just wanted to learn the mechanics of my machine. And me and Mike talked last night. We both started messing around with old Nationals, like in the late 80s, early 90s. And it just like, there must have been some obsession. Like, I remember I was in high school and I hung out with this girl who dated this older guy. And there was a Spalding catalog laying on her bed. I was probably 16. I actually have a picture of me in her room reading this catalog. And when I flipped that open, it like changed my life. It must have stimulated something in me. The machines, the equipment, the art, just like the combination of which. And it just like, it progressed into that, up to the point where I was tinkering with Nationals, and it just kind of, it's just like the desire, like some inner desire to learn more and I don't know, like strive to understand. Yeah. Something so simple, but yet so complex in movement.
Yeah. It's crazy back then too. Like when you would fuck with the machine, and you're like, you would put it together and you're like, why is this not running? And then you come to find out it's the easiest fucking thing. I forgot to put a shoulder washer in or something, you know, and you're like, why the hell? It's always the little dumb things like that you just like, oh my God. And you learn, and it gets better and better as time goes on. Or like, you know, the A-bar hitting the rear coil, snapping springs like crazy. And you're like, why? And you're like, the front one, you know, but there's always these little fucking things that fucking throw you into a fit. You want to freak out. And then,
first lesson
I kind of understand why the new generation. Yeah, I understand why the new generation don't like coil machines, because it is a complicated little device to put ink in, and if you're not in tune with it, it's gonna bother you, and you're gonna lose your interest in using coils. You know, and just go to the easy side. But
I had a good friend recently who works for a tattoo distributor that's nationwide. And, you know, I went to order needles, you know, tight 7s, loose 7s, 9s, blah, blah, blah. And he was out of a couple things, as, you know, a lot of people are, you know, the supply chain, you know, shortages and shit like that. And I asked him, I was like, you still sell a lot of needles, like regular needles? And he goes, yeah, we still sell just as many, you know, standard needles as we do cartridges. So in my mind, I mean, people are still using coils, you know, like, you know, whether
they're buying them,
but people are still into coils. Like, you know, like I mean, I'm still selling them. I'm still making them.
Yeah.
It's not like crazy, like the only thing, you know, like it's, you know, there's alternatives now, you know, but, you know, but just, people are still buying them. People are still using them. You know, I don't really see, like, you know, how they're going to go anywhere at this point. Rotaries, and like even the crazy rotaries, like the wands and shit like that, have been out for quite a while. And, you know, to still be neck and neck with, you know, as far as like needles and cartridges is concerned, with a pretty big, like nationwide, like tattoo distributor, is pretty impressive to me, you know, still.
Yeah, I think the tide's turning a little bit. I think it was stagnant for a minute as far as like the rotary and the coil scene, because when the rotaries first hit, like the modern rotaries, it kind of put a damper on the coil industry, and I saw it go down. And this was from like, you know, a distribution aspect. And it became the trendy thing again. Like, this is cycled through before. I remember years ago, Spalding put out rotaries. There was another company too. Anyhow, but not like how it is now. You know, it's picked up a lot now. But I feel as though coils they're coming back, and I think Skyver said it to me about 5 years ago. He's like, this will come and go. It'll cycle. It'll settle. You'll see. And at the time I was like, nah, I didn't feel like it. Or I thought it was just going to fat out altogether. But the rotaries would fat out altogether. But I mean, there's a place for anything, you know, in my opinion, you know, living through this. But I think we're getting to a place now where our industry is diversified and balancing out, where certain tools fit a person's style, technique, and lifestyle of tattooing. And I get that now. And I'm a coil guy. I love coils, but I own rotary machines. I just recently purchased an FK Flux. And the reason why I did it, bought the FK Flux, was I seen these guys at the Pittsburgh convention just bringing these little bags in and going to work, like easy peasy, in and out. And I'm, you know, I got my power unit. I got 2 different clip cords. I got a trad clip cord. I got the phono jack. I got all these machines. I got to bust out all these tubes. And it was more of like, hey, this is such a convenient thing. I'm going to be traveling so much more. Let me give this a shot. And I gave it a shot, and I was like, it's different. The applications are different. It slowed me down, changed the way I looked at things. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think to myself, like I could blast a line out with a coil, and that's just that, dude. Like that's just that. But I understand the differences now in the applications. So I think a lot of people, my point is, I think a lot of people are seeing that now. So if you're like a traditional tattooer, if a rotary works sufficiently for you, then that's the way you're going to go. If you're a hardline traditionalist and you want coils, that's how you're going to go. And I see a lot of the younger generation, Christ, 18 to 20-year-old, I'm not going to call them kids, but 18 to 20-year-old artists that are 1-2 years in, that are in coils, man, and they're hardline traditionalists. And that just like, that makes me happy. Like that's the tradition moving on. You know, posting pictures of like vintage coil machines and getting comments like, that's awesome, keep it going. Like that's what you want to hear. And that reaffirmed to me that it's going to be there. I mean, look at Mike's wall. Look at some of that shit on the back of his wall. How old do you think that is? Those coils that are back there, they're not going anywhere. I mean, it's such a simple design, and people dig the look, the way they run, their, you know, the efficiency, the complexity. Some people like Ferrari,
torch forward, you know.
Yeah, some people like Ferraris, and some people like, you know, a 31 rack. Just
the F-150.
Right. That's what it is, you know, like, so I don't think it's going to go anywhere, you know, and I think the industry is balanced out, in my opinion, you know.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
So that was a long explanation to make a point. Yeah,
I was going to say,
I gotta mansplain some shit every now and again to fill time gaps.
We were hanging on, man. It was cool. Yeah,
I was paying attention. Like,
You know, when we were talking about, like, I took a month off to go to Thailand, and then I come back and I do a tattoo, which I think the longest stint I ever had was 2 months of not tattooing. But you ever like cut the grass for the first time in a year and your hands start to vibrate and you're just like, whoa, weird. That's kind of what happened to me when I grabbed a coil machine. I start to tattoo and I'm like, holy shit, this thing is ancient. Like, why am I using this coil machine? But then you get used to it, you know. But it's crazy having not tattooing for that long and then getting into it. And you're like, phew. But it's like riding a bike, you know. Never lose that feeling.
My house flooded, my old house flooded, and I was out for 5 months. We had to rebuild it. And I came back to work and I picked up that coil machine, and it wasn't so much the weight anymore because I've been swinging a hammer for 5 months, but my ears rang for 2 days.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So weird. Like, why are my ears ringing?
Yeah.
Could have been the death metal, but I don't know. But I swear when I run some of my older machines, they're just so loud and clacky. I could pick up like a slight resonance of ringing every now and again.
Oh yeah, just like the slightest intonation out. I can pick it up from across the room. Like if somebody's using a machine and I'm like, you got to that fucking thing. Something, you know, You're talking about machine tuning, dude. I'm a stickler for noise. Part of
drives me nuts.
The three things, like, you know, there's you know, sight, feel, and hearing. And like you can feel how that A-bar hits. You can see the stroke length, you can see how it's hitting. And like you can hear it. You can hear like the tiniest little thing that's not right. You know, either, you know, voltage up or down, you know, clearing the contact off, you know, just like something. You know, something needs to be like changed a little bit. I can feel any little like teeny clack that's out of whack.
That drives me bonkers. Yeah.
You want it to fucking sing, man.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
that break.
What about my coil machine? I was going to say some of the whack job machines I make, they always will sound fucked up.
Oh,
they're run smooth, but it's the frame is what makes it all weird. Just,
yeah.
Like running an
like
aluminum machine.
Bulldogs sound very different than a Walker. You know,
right.
like a bulldog probably sounds the most raspy because there's not enough, frame there to make it sound like it's like purring,
Yeah.
They sound super raspy.
There's a difference between irons too, and 1018 and 1010. Like I played with all that base plates, spring shelves, uppers. Materials make a big difference, man.
Yeah, like cast machines will sound different, and the whatever Duke-Light, I can't even say the damn name of it, Duck-Light or something like that. Yeah.
Bakelite?
No, it's like a metal, but it's like, it's crazy. Like when you cut it, it's almost like brittle and falls apart kind of metal.
Talk about ductile iron?
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I can imagine it sounding a lot, like a little bit more muffled because it's softer and stuff. There's like something. Yeah, because I use 1018. It's clacky as fuck. And plus, like, Tony was saying that most of my stuff looks like it was built out of an erector set because there's so many holes, and like, like, and all those holes, like, they like, like it's just like sound just like bounces off of every little thing,
Yeah.
Do you think that helps vibration at all? All the holes?
Cast iron, ductile iron. I can imagine. I don't use cast iron or ductile iron, but I can imagine that the sound it has like a more like sound dampening quality.
Oh, it's a dead hit. I can tell you. A Neil ductile iron. That's all I use in my cast frames. It's dead hit, dude. And then I don't use 1018. I don't use it on those builds. And if you could take one of my old cast like church machines and run it against like even a Rogers that I make now, you'll hear and feel vibration difference and sound difference.
Yeah,
there's a big difference, dude.
Yeah.
Do you do any casting, Mike?
No, and I've always wanted to try to get into doing some casting here at the shop. I'd like to get a furnace and try to do some of my own stuff. I have some friends that do casting, and I'd probably go hang out with them for a little bit and learn some shit, But I'd love to try it.
Yeah, there's a big difference. I fell in love with it. It's just the process. You're making the same machine over and over and over. Like, if you find something that you love, like you prefab it and reverse engineer it and you cast it, you want to do a bunch of them, it's great. But when you're doing one-offs, it's tough. Unless you're running like brass, navy brass or aluminum, then it's a lot easier. But
you can make you could probably stand cast a blank side, or make the same base and the same coil deck, but like make kind of like a wider side so you can machine it or cut it. Even if you make a board that was made out of like that just made up a bunch of blanks out of a board, then you can make one off side of that. That might be. Remember Icon? I think Icon used to sell brass
square.
Yeah. They were pretty cool.
Talking about Icon yesterday, me and Mike. Or was that me and you? We're talking about Icon.
I did say something about Icon last night, but I think it was because I remember when they started selling parts and all that, and they had the machine gun magazine and stuff like that.
You and I, machine gun.
You guys were you guys both in that? Tony, you were in it, right?
Yeah, I was in that.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Yeah.
Me neither.
Remember the green machine they built?
Yeah, the green monster.
Green monster.
Yeah.
And then the trick A bars that were weighted and the different. Like
they had that one. They had that one that was like the angle.
Yeah.
Instead of like they're trying to eliminate like bending your spring.
Yeah.
Which like really got to think about that. That was really, really ahead of its time because if you think about that, that was like that's the reason like rotaries were invented or more prominent because they're so user friendly, supposedly user friendly. To like eliminate all like the human error. Like you could just like you set up and start. If you break a spring, all you have to do is just put it back in place, put another one back in place, and it'll be fine. So I think like, that there wasn't any real follow through with a lot of that stuff. Cause like, I mean, if there was, they would still be around, you know, but like, I think a lot of that guy's in, you know, in his inventive nature, it like, you really, really think about just the idea of having something you don't have to fuck with and you can just, you know, tattoo with it. I think a lot of that might have started, you know, well, to me, because that's what I first saw as like, you know, something that all you had to do is just light it up and go. With the machine gun magazines, and especially like the Green Monster build, like where he's trying to like, you know, create a throw that's like so big and like, you know, make it run at so many, you know, hertz at so many volts. And like, you know, that came out when I was like very, very early in tattoo machine building. And I'm like, what the fuck is this dude talking about? But like, you can't, like, you know, like, it's really hard to grasp at first, but like, you know, you get a little bit of it and then like down the line, a couple years, you get a little bit more, but it really, really sets the tone for how like forward thinking that dude was with putting those magazines out and like, you know, the things that he was doing in them and stuff, you know. I think I have them. Let me see if I have them. You know what?
They're still using the same technology, dude.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
What's that long frame
I'm so out of
geometry?
the loop
For
on
some
that.
reason, I thought it was even a longer frame geometry. Like this. I'm not going to say anything, but this isn't the same machine that we saw back in the day when it first came out, when they were doing the experiment.
The Green Monster thing.
Yeah, I mean it is, but it isn't. Let's just leave it at that.
You know,
But they're still using that A-bar, which is super cool, dude. That's dope. A little lift on that rear shelf, probably.
I got them all here. I got them all right here.
Oh yeah.
Let me see if I can find it.
Yeah.
I think I'm in the
What,
green
like
one.
the first one?
I think I'm in that green one.
I think it was towards the end, the Green Machine, where they started really experimenting with it, I think.
Yeah. I love that magazine because back when we, you know, besides Reed Street Forum, which I wasn't really a part of, it was tough getting information. You find it. It was tough to get information. So I like praised that magazine, dude. When that showed up in my mailbox, I would just like grab it, run away, hide in a corner, and just read it back to back and lick it. And just, it was the
Oh,
best.
dude, look at this thing. Look at this like A-bar on there.
Yeah, there it is. That's what I'm talking about.
You know, if you see anybody using like
That's straight up
You know what's
strawberry
crazy?
right there,
those
buddy.
tiny, using those O-rings to like
Nope.
lift up the
See
needle.
Lift the
This
strut.
is like, dude, this is like
that.
this is like the first thing I ever saw with like the geometry so low, like such a long frame, you know, and those coils are pushed all the way down to the bottom of the A-bar,
Yeah.
you know, which is pretty awesome.
I bet you
This
that thing
thing's
would fall off the back of your hand while you're using it, though.
Oh, I know. It's
Weight
crazy.
differential.
And like,
Super
like
stroker.
even the vice on it is like, you know, very simple, you know, it's like just a very simple,
Zeiss.
like,
Yeah, like
you
a
know.
Zeiss pinch plate.
Could we look, it says, could we get the Green Monster to run over 400 hertz?
Oh.
Like what?
Why?
It's so crazy. And this is, what's his name? What's the
That's
guy's
awesome,
name? Bill. What's the guy's name? He owns Pearl Harbor gift shop in somewhere in the guy that the guy, Bill fucking, oh my God.
I forget.
Oh man. It's weird because there's like, oh, Bill Baker. That's his name.
Bill Baker. That's right. Didn't he own
That
a
guy-
magazine too? Didn't he own Skin and Ink? Is that correct?
No,
Oliver?
no, it's a different Bill.
I was a young buck, man. I kept my head down. I really didn't mess with any of the old heads back then.
Dude, there's an interview with Soba in here. Fucking great. A lot of cool stuff. I want to try to find.
No, I'm kidding.
I want to try to find your machine. Oh, you know what? They have like readers machines.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. Shit, man.
I did a couple builds and I submitted them and he printed it and I was like, oh my God, dude.
Dude, you know what? Look at this thing. See this? This Juan Puente?
Oh, that's
pretty
worth
cool.
money, dude.
You see that? You see that side?
Yeah.
Dude, Mike Wilson just gave me one. And he's like, I think this is a Juan Puente. And I'm like, yeah, really? And I'm looking at it. I'm like, holy shit, it fucking is. I have this in it's all rusty. It's in my fucking shed.
Oh, that's sick.
Dan, I'm never fucking building that.
You ever
Keep that
seen
vibes.
in the late 80s? I met, and I told this story before. I met Creeper.
Uh-huh.
He worked at Tattoo Land, and he was using this weird Mickey Sharps machine I'd never seen before. It looked like a Lionel Tetner. He calls it a pause aligner. It's a frameless. Mike, you ever seen those?
Wait, is that where it comes off of the coil, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's a rear machine. And I fell in love with that back in the 90s, man. And it had like a drill vise kind of pinch collet.
Oh yeah.
I don't have it here. I have it at the studio, but yeah, I still have that. That was a cool thing they didn't put in their catalogs. So I met Creeper and I'm like, what is this thing, man? I have a Sharps catalog. I still have my original first one from 90, I think 1990. And you had to call them overseas and you'd have to go to the bank and you had to get money transferred and send them. Oh, it was a fucking mess to get this thing. And it took like 3-4 weeks. And I'm like, Creeper, what is that? And he's like, Mickey doesn't sell those in the catalog. You have to call him and ask him, and you have to drop my name in order to get one.
Wow.
So me and Chris Henry went through that whole process, and we got 2 of them. Like I had number 23. But that I'll tell you, that's one of my favorite machines. You're talking about that Puente, and that just triggered like a memory. I'm sorry I interjected there.
Hey, you know what? I don't even know. I don't know if it's an old one or a new one, but like,
well, if it's a prefab 2-piece, I'm gonna say it's an old one. The
Mike came
Puente.
to Florida. He was like on this, like he goes on these tours. He'll travel down to Florida on like kind of the western side of 95 and stop every 3 hours at different shops and work. And he'll be in Florida. He'll be in Jacksonville for a little bit, and then he'll come back up, and he stops at Todd Noble's place, and then after that he stops at our shop, and then he'll go home because he lives in North Jersey.
Yeah.
But this trip he brought a bunch of tattoo machine stuff up from Florida, and I guess he just unloaded like all this stuff on me. When I get something like that, like I will never build it. Like I have sides from you that I'll just never build. Like this is just like my collection of parts. Yeah. And he showed me that, and I was like, holy shit, that's crazy. It's crazy that you just have one, and it's even crazier that you're just giving it to me. Like thanks.
He just gave it to you.
You'll never see the light of day now.
He just gave it to you, and you randomly opened up a 20-year-old machine gun magazine, and there it is.
Like, I have no way to research. Like I mean, I guess like I could have put it out there and been like, oh, is this really a Juan Puente frame? But it wasn't even the front. Like it's just the bent. It's just like there's no tube vise on it. You have to add tube vise later.
It's just the frame, or half.
So it's just like, what's that?
Is that half of the machine, coils and everything, or just the frame?
Well, because it's a bent frame.
Yeah.
So it's like bent, like the spring deck is bent in, the front is bent in where the coils sit. But I guess they really couldn't figure out how to do the tube vise part.
Yeah.
So they added a vise later.
Yeah.
And so like what I have is just the bent part of it. It's such a really cool looking, it's kind of like a Coleman sort of
the front sort of you got to build it up, man.
I ain't building that shit, man.
Send it to me, I'll build it.
Hells to the no.
3 to 7 business years.
Nah, man, that shit's just like it's just like in a pile somewhere, like where it belongs.
Yeah, I have some spiderweb stuff like that, experimental bent frames that the geometry is just so bad that you can't do anything with it. But he signed it. He signed it before he built it, so I'm like, I'm keeping this shit.
Oh man, like I got tons of bent frame shit that I did that's like fucking absolutely wacky, but it was so early. It was like 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
I had no idea. I just like, learning about like bend radius and stuff. Like, I'm just gonna run with that for a minute. But they were good. They weren't great though.
And Mike,
I'd love to do them again someday.
Mike, I think you get a lot of people coming through to visit you and build with you.
I get some people that come in here. I've had some people ask about wanting to come and build, and I'm like, I have to kind of like know them, you know, to
Yeah.
have them just come out here, you know. But
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I built with one person.
They have to be properly vetted.
right. But you know, my friend Deech, he comes out here once a year and we'll build for a week or whatever. But other than that, it's just people that pass through. They'll do guest spots at the tattoo shop or whatever, you know. Once if I'm there, I'm like, hey, if you want to come out, come out.
Well, if I'm ever in Montana, I'll get my clearances first. How you feeling today anyhow, man? I know you weren't feeling well.
I'm coughing once in a while here, but I'm getting better, I guess. So
Right on, good.
it's just my throat really right now. So how about you?
Yeah, the lungs are still they burn a little, but I'm still working through it.
Yeah.
I'm feeling fucking tip top.
Yeah, you're
Good for
always
you.
tip top. I don't.
I'm ready to fucking go. No, I'm not always tip top, man. I got allergies, dude. You know?
Yeah.
Shit gets
Oh, yeah.
fucking for a while. You get sinus headaches, but you know, now that being said, I'll probably have one by Friday. You know, it's supposed to get nice out again, and then there's pollen, and then you fucking die a little, you know, get a little slow trying to take walk-ins, but you know, for the most part today, I feel pretty good. Not bad, you know. I was excited to come and talk to Mike. That's probably why I was hyped. I mean, you know, I'm hyped to see you too, but like, you know, I was excited, you know, when, you know, we were, I wouldn't say we were stuck, but Tony, you know, I hit up Tony last week. I'm like, hey man, we got a podcast next week. Do we got anybody? And he's like, no, you got any ideas? And the first person I hit up was you. And I'm like, that's it. Like, I got Mike. We got Mike. Like, that's it. Like, you know, so we always like say, oh, we're going to get like, you know, kind of get like a schedule of people, you know, and like, you know, try to like, you know, hop on, like, you know, getting people lined up. But then like, you know, that fades away after like an hour after we're done this podcast. And then we go back to our normal lives.
We're going to test on machines again.
You know, like I'm stressing out about these walk-ins. Tony's stressing out about a tattoo convention, blah, 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 you know, ran out of fucking paper towels. I got to go do that. You know, like, normal shit. I got to take my kid to, you know, we got like gymnastics we got to go to. So it's like shit gets in the way. But, you know, it's incredible that we've gotten to talk to so many really good tattoo machine builders in the past. I think it's like maybe a little over a year. But we've got
real quick. I don't mean to talk about shit getting in the way, but I just want to let you know we got like a 10-minute.
I'm just gonna get in the way.
Just gonna get in the way. Just be aware of the time. That's all. Cheers, man.
No, it's cool.
Okay.
We got any questions? Nobody likes us today? Anything? No one's listening.
Mike's some stuff.
That one fella had posted up some questions before it started. I don't know if
Kyle. Yeah, Kyle. Yeah, he says, what were some of your favorite, most inventive, earliest builds? I'm gonna direct that to Mike.
Oh man. That inverted V machine thing, I guess that was, I don't know how long ago I made that, but that one really, it was an awesome machine. It's basic, you know, style, but man, I just really love it. So that new one too that I did where the coil is up and the one is going sideways.
Yeah, I love that.
I guess you
that
call
was
it
fucking so simple and so awesome.
I'm like, what in the hell?
Like,
Yep.
that was truly a moment where I was like, why didn't I think of that? So fucking good.
Well, I think we keep practicality in mind. Like
So
I
good.
keep practicality in mind when I build, and I think Mike just throws all rules out the window and just like, yeah, fuck it, let's just see if this goes.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. You know, you always hear people that are like, that's not going to work. And it's like, well, let's just fucking build it and see if it's going to work.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, nobody has a crystal ball as to whether something's going to work. You know, that
Don't
shit.
make that shit work.
Yeah, make it work. When did you start to see the transition into like building like really wacky stuff? Like, you know, like you start out, you're building on other people's, you know, stuff. Like you're building on like national frames or whatever, and then you're building on your own frames. You're building on, you know, stuff that you've built, you're making, but like, when did it start like branching off into like stuff that was a little crazier?
That's where John Clark comes in, because I remember when he built the forward facing coil where the A bar came down for the, and when I saw him do that, and then he was doing some other little they weren't even tattoo machines, they were just cool little motor type things that he was building. He posted on like YouTube and stuff, and I was like, huh. That's when it just started to really like, maybe I should just, because I had these drawings, but I never made them into anything, because I'm like, they're not going to work. And then I just did it. And then once I did it, then it got better and better. And it just was like, like, fuck it. If I have a bunch of failed shit on the side, that's cool. You put that to the side and you just look at them. And if you look up here, I got some failed ones on the top. Yeah. But I just kept on going, so.
Yeah, I mean, you could say it's a failure and call it finite, but you could say it's a work in progress and keep working at it.
It's a process.
But we all know dead horse isn't fun. But like, I think like, like I'll say this probably once every single time we do this podcast: failure is your master, because like, it's what keeps you going. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's like a good thing. You learn from it every single time. It's a good thing.
Yeah.
I remember.
I got sketches and sketches of stuff I still need to build.
Wow.
So I'm not finished. I want to keep going. So
I'm excited. Definitely. I'm gonna have to get something crazy off of you. Just like, I don't have to tattoo with it, man. It's just something that you're proud of. That's insane. That I could say, this crazy dude I talked to in Montana fucking sent me this. This is awesome. Look at this.
I
don't
definitely
touch it.
something that all your arm off, something like that. Let's go for that.
So, you know what? Yeah, since we're running low on time, I have to put this out there. So I talked with Adam from Junk Machine Company yesterday, and Gabe came up with this thing called the Tattoo Machine Olympics. So we put it together, and Adam came up with some fantastic shit. Dude.
Wait. Are you sure it was Adam that was you were talking to? We were talking about this the other day.
Yeah, but I talked to Adam yesterday about some of the events.
All right.
So he comes up with an A bar with a jigsaw blade on it, right? So you could build whatever you want to build. It's got to be a tattoo machine. Like, I think Mike would be fucking fantastic at this. So the first thing is, you got to saw through a piece of pepperoni, a dowel rod, and then PVC pipe with the machine, right?
Oh, okay.
And then the next one is, it's the race. So it's like cornhole. You put the machine on a board and you slide it down. Whoever hits the hole wins, right? And then what was the other one? What the fuck was the other one? Oh, we were going to drill through something or scrape something, like paint off of a fucking bumper or something. But drill through a piece like a plywood, then a piece of tin, and then like scrape something with it. So it's going to be head to head. Any machine you want to build, no fucking holes barred. Step up there, gear up, get your gloves and your mask on, and just
chop through the pepperoni.
Chop through the pepperonis. But he sends me a picture last night of this fucking A bar with a blade brazed to it. It's like,
well, we were talking about
having it at the convention. So any machine builder can enter.
We were talking the other day, like, what if we all like just took like a bunch of parts that we had laying around, and like put them in a big bag, and then have somebody like separate, like, oh, A bar, coils, this and that, and everything, and then like we all have to build out of each other's shit, like, you just like get somebody to arbitrarily make a grab bag of everybody's
bag
stuff.
Of shit, and you got to build. Yeah, we were talking about doing that for the podcast, like getting three of us. Yeah,
I mean, like, talk about like getting out of your comfort zone. Like, oh man, this guy makes his bases, but they're like, maybe the geometry's too low or like too high or something, or the vise is weird or something.
Well, I think Mike wins already before we even started.
Well, yeah, Mike already won.
Mike will win.
Yeah.
It's like, I made this out of a bowling ball, a hammer, a weed whacker motor, and a shoe.
Yeah. I win. it does like fantastic lines. Like, you
I'm
can win.
I'm making him laugh and cough at the same time. I'm going to kill
Right.
the guy before we start
Sorry,
the
buddy.
game.
The fun part is you might have just sparked some young punk who's like, oh yeah, I'll go after that. Take him another 10 years, but
So
Hey, man.
Adam was
Inspiration.
cracking me up. He was telling me about it's called Hot Saw Wars, where they take like motorcycle engines, hook up saw blades, and cut through fucking wood. He's like, it's insane. You got to look it up.
Wow.
So it's the hot tattoo machine fucking war, basically.
Yep.
Oh, he had me in tears, dude. Adam's a funny dude.
Yeah. So, are we wrapping up soon, or what? How long do we have? Like a couple
Okay.
minutes.
Okay.
yeah. Sorry, my phone was clicking around here a little bit. Yeah, it's time to wrap up. You know, we always want to leave everybody wanting more, right? So,
Yep.
yeah, we'll be at an hour and a half in 3 minutes. So, and I'm sorry to say, I do also have, like I said, I have a stream coming up afterwards. Otherwise, I'll let everybody run on. But
So how do we get in touch with you, Mike? If people want to buy your stuff or creep on you or get in touch with you, where are we finding you?
Mike Flying Irons on Instagram, and then my website, flyingirons.com. You got a Facebook page too. I think it's Flying Irons too. And yeah, it's about it. Mostly I'm always on IG. That's where I'm always on there. So
Yeah, that's like I think that's the place for everybody.
yeah.
Yeah, you got to build a machine for the Olympics, dude. Even if you can't be at the convention, send it. I'll run that bad boy for you. I'll get you more details.
Nice.
Seriously. Any machine builders out there want to enter, hit me up. I will give you the details.
I would just like to say thanks to Mike for coming on here on such short notice and being kind of sick and all, but you make really, really fabulous stuff. Like, I don't know if anybody can tell you or you need to hear it, but I'm saying it, and it's incredible stuff. You're for sure one of us. You're for sure welcome here. You're in good company. We're all fucking maniacs, and like, you just might be King Maniac. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
Really excited to have you here, and we look forward to talking to you once again. We'll have to come back and revisit and see where you're at in that point. But thanks for coming on. Get it.
Yeah, I appreciate
for sure.
it, man. Yeah, I appreciate it, dude. You definitely I appreciate your style, your builds, your creativity, your dedication to our craft, dude. That's awesome.
Yep.
It's a pleasure
all those
talking
things.
to you. It's definitely a pleasure. We're going to talk more, definitely. We'll be in touch.
Yes.
All right. I'm Tony Urbanek. I can be reached at Turbanek Machines, Turbanek Machines on Instagram. I own Inkadikadu Tattoo in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm putting on a convention July 29th through 31st in Akron, Ohio. You can hit me up, or you can go to Rubber City Tattoo Invitational. You can look it up on Google, Instagram. If you got a couple booths left, we got some great stuff happening. And I'm out. Greg, contact info.
I'm Greg DiGiacinto on Instagram. It's Veritas Manufacturing, Veritas MFG. I own a shop right outside of Atlantic City, New Jersey, called Mr. Blue Sky Tattoo. Stop by, get tattooed. I take walk-ins Friday and Saturday. You want to get a tattoo machine, let me know. You want to shoot the shit, let me know. I'm always down and for a good conversation and stuff. And certainly catch us every month, every third Wednesday here for Machines, Magnetism, and Mayhem.
You said that right.
The absolute top tattoo machine builders that we could get at the last minute.
Last minute.
awesome, that was great. If anybody's still actually listening, I mean, in the replay, people might still be listening too. You could leave your tattoo machine builder interviewee requests in the comments and stuff, huh? We can encourage interaction like that.
Yeah, if you have any questions or you want to be on the podcast, hit us up.
Perfect.
Yep.
Awesome. Thanks again, and we'll catch up with you all in the near future.
Machine thumbs.
Click on the buttons.
See ya.
Make a funny face now.
Um,
Oh wait,
Peace.